Hi guys, it's Alicia and welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you are a faithful friend, welcome home. You guys, today I'm sharing 3 textured DIY projects with you. So without further ado, let's get into the video. We're starting with textured checkered wall art. So you guys, this checkered pattern is so popular right now. You see it in floors, rugs, throws, decor pieces, pillows. You're seeing it in china, vases. We're seeing it in planters, and we are seeing it in wall art. And this is the inspiration for the piece that I want to do. I'm starting by measuring so that I can make my squares to be equal for the wall art. Now, this particular canvas is 48 inches long, so I'm measuring the middle at 24 inches. From there, the half of that is 12 inches, and then from there, the half of that is 6 inches. So each one of my squares will be 6 inches long. So here I'm just doing my measuring and I'm marking off each one of my 6-inch square marks. I'm going to measure it vertically, and then I'm also going to do the same measurements for it to be horizontally, dividing it by the length and the width, and then continuing to divide until I have all of my squares in equal amounts horizontally as well as vertically. Now, I will be honest with you, this particular DIY project was a little more time consuming with all of the measuring and then also the texturing and the painting. But I will tell you, it is very well worth every bit of the time that you put into it. And I actually enjoyed doing this piece. It didn't seem bothersome to me at all. It just took a little bit more time. I will also say that you don't have to have a canvas as large as the one that I'm using. You can choose your canvas in any size that you choose, and then of course the size canvas that you choose is going to determine the amount of time that it takes you. Also, my squares were small, only 6 inches altogether. I could have done them much larger, which would have made the project time cut down even the more so, but I did want to do them in the small squares. Now that I have everything measured, I'm ready to do my texturing, and I'm doing this dry decks, and I'm using just the 2 spatulas to put it on there. What I love about dry decks is that it goes on pink and then it dries white, so you know exactly when your project is dry and ready to move on to the next step. So I'm starting here with the large spatula, thinking that it would cover more area, but you will see as the video goes on that I do switch to the smaller one because it allowed me to have more control over spreading this out. Now guys, I'm spreading this dry decks on, and I'm not trying to make it perfect. I'm not trying to make it smooth. I want to have those ridges in this piece because it's that texture that I'm looking for, and it's what's going to really make the piece stand out. There's no rhyme or reason for applying this dry decks to my canvas other than the fact that I do want to make sure that I stay within the lines of my square as much as possible. Now, I don't mind a little bit of bleed over into the square that's non-textured, but I do want to try and stay within the lines of the square that's supposed to be textured as much as possible. Other than that, it's just getting it on there and letting it lay the way that it does. The more variations that you have in the texture and in the spackling, the better. It's going to make the piece look so nice when you do that, and you will see when we're all done. And now I'll let you watch as I get the entire canvas filled with my textured spackling. And you guys see there, if you look closely, you will see Mr. Louis sitting at the bar. He is interested in everything that I'm doing. He's a DIYer too, y'all. And finally, I'm at the very last square, and I'm excited to move on to the next step. So guys, this is what it looks like when all the squares have been filled in, and you can see the ones that are up top have a little bit of white in them because they've already started to dry. So I'm gonna let this sit. It doesn't take long, and as you can see, this is what it looks like when it's all dry. I love the variation in the texture. This is what makes your piece. That's why I was saying earlier, you don't want to make it smooth when you're putting it on. You want to leave some of those ridges because this is what makes your texture stand out. And now that it's all dry, we're ready to paint. So you guys, I am using this paint that I picked up from Walmart. This is in the color Linen, and I also have 2 sponge brushes. I'm starting at the center of my piece so that as I'm leaning over, I don't want to start on the edges because when I reach to do the center, I don't want to smear the paint or get it on myself. So I'm starting in the center, and I'm literally just going in and I am painting the untextured squares in my canvas. So guys, this is how it's looking so far, and I do want to tell you that when you do this piece, you can use whatever colors you choose, whatever matches your decor. You can use black if you want it to instead of the linen. You can use, if you like bright colors, you can use a bright color. It's really whatever color that you're doing. This would look so cute in a girl's room where you use pink. So yeah, I'm going to let you watch while I get this entire canvas filled in. This would also look so cute in a soft baby or powder blue for a boy's room as well. You just can't go wrong with this piece. And so guys, you see here, I am finally at the last square with my paint. Now guys, I want to remind you, if you do this piece, don't forget to do your edges. That's what's going to make the piece look authentic and look so good when you hang it on the wall. Finish off those edges. And you guys, here's a look at how the piece turned out. I am in love. I mean, this piece just turned out so nice. The texture is beautiful. The color is beautiful. The fact that it's kind of abstract in that, there's some bleed over in the squares between the plaster as well as the paint. It just turned out so good. Now moving on to our vintage aged vase. You guys, I absolutely love the look of all of these vases. I love that they have texture. I love that some of them look like they are concrete, and I love this terracotta color here with a bit of a darker color mixed in with it. So this is the vessel that I found at TJ Maxx for $16.99. It's a really nice size. I don't know if you can gauge that on camera. I love the handle that's on it. It gives inspiration from the photo before it. So yeah, I want to go in and paint this and make this look old, like it's been around forever. So I'm using the Waverly Antiquing Wax, and I'm also using this paint that I picked up from Walmart in the color chestnut and a paintbrush. And I'm just going to start by going in and painting the whole vessel in this terracotta colored paint. It's really called chestnut, but it is a perfect color for terracotta. I love the piece with just the terracotta paint, but I just wanted to take it a step further and just really make it more befitting of what I'm going to be doing in my bedroom makeover. I want to add some texture to it and some darker colors. So this terracotta looking color is really just an undertone for the entire vase. I'm going here and I'm adding that antiquing wax, but I'm also adding some baking soda to it because it's the baking soda that's going to give us the texture for this piece. And I want to stir this up really well, and when I'm all done, this is going to be kind of the consistency of cake icing. I'm putting on my gloves, and now I'm just going to take some paper bags and I'm just going to start to just dab this on the vessel. And then after I dab it on the vessel, then I'll go through and I'll just wipe away some just to blend it, and then I'll go over it again to dab on and leave the texture there instead of blending it and wiping it off. And guys, here's a look at how the piece turned out. It looks like it's old, it looks aged, it's textured, it looks like it's been here for quite some time. This is exactly the look that I was going for. I love how the piece is mostly the darker brown tone with the terracotta color peeping out from underneath. And now our third and final piece is this aged textured planter pot. Now you guys, I again love the look of all these planter pots. I especially love the coloring in this piece here, and it's the inspiration for how I want to color this large planter that I picked up from TJ Maxx for $30. So guys, I'm starting by using this old can of Rust-Oleum satin paint in the color warm chestnut. I had this left over. It's the undertone color that I'd like to use on my planter, and I'm just going in and I'm spraying the planter. I'm not trying to make it even. I'm leaving some, splotchy areas on purpose because this is going to get a lot of texture and a lot of variation in colors, you guys. So this is what it's looking like with just that one coat. I had just enough paint in the can to do exactly what I needed to do. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to start layering colors, and I'm starting with this lighter brown tone. I'm also adding in some baking soda to give it that texture, and I'm just going in and just randomly putting this on the planter in no particular rhyme or reason. I'm just covering it, and I do want to mostly cover that first underlying tone and then come back in with this color that I'm using now. So I am adding this color to it and then just blending. And now I'm coming in with some antiquing glaze and just putting that on, and I'm blending. And this is a lot of work, you guys. Basically, there really is no instruction for doing this other than the fact that you just want to blend colors that match your decor and what you're looking for, and just to continue doing it. And so now that I have that on, I'm coming back in and I'm going to just dab the color on and then rub it in some places. Again, this is the antiquing wax that I'm using to just give it even more darker tones. And as you can see, I have a paper towel and I am just dabbing it on, and then I'm going through and I'm rubbing it in just to make those colors blend a little bit more. The key thing is just to have fun doing it and just eyeballing where you feel like some darker color needs to fill in your vessel, and then just, dab it on there and then just wipe it off and just make the colors blend. And so now I'm coming back in with my lighter color. Again, I want to blend these out, and this is what it's looking like when I have done all of that. Blending, putting your undertone. Now guys, this is the key. After you have your colors all blended, then you want to come in with some more of that Drydex spackling and just go over the top of your vessel and put it on in areas where you feel like the piece would naturally have texture to it if it were an old piece that had set out for some time, weathered with time, and just do that. So this is just a new or different technique. Instead of putting your spackling on first and then painting over that, do your painting and blending first and then come with your spackling on top of it to give it that texture. Now, after I added the spackling, I came back in with some more antiquing wax. I came back in with some more of the lighter color, and I just began to blend over the top of the spackling. And I also came back in to really make it look aged and old and to make the texture really stand out with some black. And I just softened it up just a little bit with a lighter color brown, and then I put that on, and that really gave the piece some depth and it highlighted where the texture is. And now let's take a final look at all of our pieces. Well, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, I'd love it if you would subscribe. And if you would like, comment, and share the video. You guys, don't forget to enjoy the little things. It's the little things that give us the sweetest, prettiest little pleasures. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.